That's good.
Take a couple days off. Through. It's like,
Yeah.
All right. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board designed for that purpose, and notice was transmitted to the official newspapers provided by a resolution adopted January 6, 2024. Meeting notice has also been continually posted on the borough website. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Council President. Council President Morgan,
Here.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Here.
Councilman Otteson,
Here.
Councilwoman Russo,
Here.
Councilman Pagan,
Here.
Councilwoman Herring.
Here.
And the mayor is absent but excused.
Can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask everybody to remain standing for a moment of silence, and I'd ask that this moment of silence be dedicated to a member of Bach Associates engineer, our borough engineer, who passed away tragically last week. Thank you. All right. I'd like to open up the meeting to the floor for public comment on agenda items only. If you have anything you want to say on agenda items, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no movement, we're going to move on to the caucus work session. Billy, is that you?
Yes, I just wanted to mention again, for the record, we've advertised it in the newspaper. Our annual reorganization meeting will be held Saturday, January 4th at 11 a.m. here at Borough Hall. And I had one other item I wanted to add, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And that is, we put out at, the mayor asked me this yesterday, for the committees and commissions, for which you guys are council liaisons over, you should have a list of the vacancies, and, basically if you would review those and get those back to us with any suggestions or any changes you might want to recommend to the mayor or to our office, that would be great in helping us prepare for the reorganization meeting. Okay. And
Thank
that's
you.
it. Thank you.
All right, next we're going to move on to the approval of the minutes of the November 18th, 2024 business meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
Abstain. Russo?
Next, we're going to move on to the approval of the executive session minutes of the October 15th, 2024 business meeting and the November 18th, 2024 business meeting.
And Council President, I am sorry, the second set of executive session minutes are not there. It is actually just the October 15th,
Okay.
actually November 6th.
I have November 6th
That
here,
is
yeah.
wrong.
So is it October 15th and November 6th then?
Just November 6th.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my God, that's very wrong. So it's November 6th.
Just November
and
6th?
November 18th.
All right, so
So just November 6th.
looking for a motion
Session?
to approve the executive session minutes of November 6th, 2024.
Phillips, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions?
Russo
Abstain.
abstain.
And abstention from Councilwoman Russo and Councilman Pagan.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the Borough Engineers Report.
Thank you very much. We have submitted our written report. Just want to highlight one item. The borough was successful in receiving a 2025 NJDOT municipal aid grant of $269,000. That is going to be, will include the remainder of St. Martin's as well as a portion of Winfield or New Jersey Avenue. We'll work with the engineering committee, but very happy. It's one of the larger, more robust grants in the Camden County area of 269. Other than that, we'll rely on the written report.
Excellent, great work. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
All right.
Nick did a very fine job in Belmont at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, all right, so we're going to do things a little bit, we've got a rather meaty agenda tonight, so before I move into unfinished business, we're going to take a brief recess into executive session. This is going to be a brief one to discuss one of the ordinances that are being introduced tonight. I expect this to be a very short executive session.
May I, Council President?
Absolutely.
So we would need a motion and a second on the resolution to enter into executive session. We will be entering in that executive session on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024 at approximately 7:07 PM. 10 minutes,
I think that's,
tops.
yeah,
We'll be in for approximately 10 minutes, and it will have to do with contractual issues with the borough.
Right.
So we need a motion to second. And a roll
Phillips,
call.
so moved.
is there a second to go in? Okay. All in favor, oh, roll call? Can I get a roll call on that? Phil?
Sure. Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Yes.
Councilman Otteson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Herring. Thank you.
We would ask everybody to please excuse us. Shouldn't be very long at all.
Thank you. We're going to come back at least 1 or 2 more times. She's very good.
All right, can I get a motion to come out of executive session? Is there a second?
Second.
Do I have to do a roll call?
You can do it all in favor.
Okay,
I messed
all-
up the first time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks for your patience. We're going to resume with unfinished business. First is a public hearing and final adoption on bond ordinance 2024-1559, bond ordinance authorizing the completion of various capital improvements in the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $300,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $285,000, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing.
Being a public hearing,
This-
Council
this-
President, it would be appropriate to ask for motion with
This-
an all in favor to open it up for a public hearing on this ordinance that's on first, second reading.
Thank you, Solicitor Long. Can I have a motion to open up the public hearing section on the final hearing of this ordinance?
Russo, second?
This is all in favor. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So if anybody has anything they want to say on this particular bond ordinance, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no movement, I'm going to, is there a motion to close the public, can I get a motion to close the public hearing section on this bond ordinance? Is there a
Phillips, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now I'm going to open up the floor for a motion on bond ordinance 2024-1559.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Otteson has a second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Yes.
Councilman Otteson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to public hearing and final adoption of bond ordinance 2024-1560. Bond ordinance authorizing the completion of various improvements for the sanitary sewer system in and for the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $410,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $410,000, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. Can I have a motion to open the floor up to public hearing on bond ordinance 2024-1560?
Russo, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the floor is open for public comment on bond ordinance 2024-1560. If you have anything you'd like to say on this ordinance, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no movement, can I get a motion to close the public hearing session of bond ordinance 2024-1560?
Russo, so moved?
Phillips, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I get a motion on bond ordinance 2024-1560?
Russo, so moved?
Phillips, second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Council President. Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Yes.
Councilman Otteson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to public hearing and final adoption of ordinance 2024-1561, an ordinance of the Borough of Haddon Heights authorizing execution of a 5-year financial agreement with Distinctive Image and Design LLC for 605 White Horse Pike, Block 35, Lot 27. I'd like to open up the floor to public comment on the ordinance 2024-1561. Can I have a motion, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing section, or public hearing for ordinance 2024-1561 is open. If you have something you'd like to say on this ordinance, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no movement, can I get a motion to close the public hearing session for ordinance 2024-1561?
So-
Who wants the honor?
Russo, so moved.
I will second Councilwoman Russo.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can I get a motion on ordinance 2024-1561?
Second.
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Otteson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam, Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
All right. And last but not least, ordinance 2024-1562, an ordinance of the Borough of Haddon Heights authorizing execution of a 5-year financial agreement for 712 Station Avenue, Block 51, Lot 11. I'd like to open up the floor for the public hearing session on this ordinance. Can I have a motion, please?
Russo, so moved.
Addison, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the public hearing session on ordinance 2024-1562 is open. If you have any comment on this ordinance, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no movement, I'd like to close the public hearing session on this ordinance. Can I have a motion, please? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now the public hearing session is closed. Can I have a motion on ordinance 2024-1562?
So moved.
Moved by
Harron,
Phillips.
Phillips,
Is there a second?
and then Harron.
Okay,
Thank
second.
you.
Okay. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Otteson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam, Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
All right, moving on to new business. Introduction of ordinance 2024-1563, an ordinance of the Borough of Haddon Heights approving the application and financial agreement for a long-term tax exemption with Station Avenue Lofts Urban Renewal LLC for Block 25, Lot 16, and 17.01 on the official borough tax map. Public hearing and final adoption of ordinance 2024-1563 will be held Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, at approximately 7 p.m. in the municipal building located at 625 Station Avenue, Haddon Heights, New Jersey. Can I have a roll call to introduce this ordinance?
Motion to introduce?
I'm sorry, yeah. I really skipped the
Okay.
part there. Sorry about that. I have a I got a
Phillips.
motion.
Phillips, so moved.
Okay, good.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Okay, Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Otteson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam, Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
All right, then we're going to move on to the introduction of ordinance 2024-1564, an ordinance amending certain provisions of the Code of the Borough of Haddon Heights, Section 75, entitled Establishment, Membership of the Haddon Heights Police Department. Public hearing and final adoption of ordinance 2024-1564 will be held Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, at approximately 7 p.m. in the municipal building located at 625 Station Avenue, Haddon Heights, New Jersey. Can I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Otteson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Bagam,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
All right, and next, we're, Resolution 2024-224, resolution awarding a contract to New Jersey Animal Control LLC for the purpose of providing animal control services to the Borough of Haddon Heights for a period of 1 year. Resolution 2024-225, resolution authorizing mayor to execute an agreement between Voorhees Animal Orphanage, Inc. and the Borough of Haddon Heights for the purpose of providing animal shelter services for a period of 12 months. Resolution 2024-226, resolution authorizing budget appropriation transfers during the last 2 months of the fiscal year for the Borough of Haddon Heights, Camden County, New Jersey. Resolution 2024-227, a resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to make additional transfers of funds if needed to assure that all 2024 budget appropriations have adequate funds, and authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to pay all necessary bills through the end of the year. Resolution 2024-228, a resolution of the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, excuse me, State of, that's my dyslexia, State of New Jersey, authorizing the joining and participating with Omnia Partners, a cooperative purchasing entity authorized to conduct business in the state of New Jersey. Resolution 2024-229, resolution authorizing payment of bills and claims for the first half of December. Resolution 2024-230, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12, for personal matter related to CFO position, contract matter related to negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters Local 3249, contract matter related to shared services agreement with the Borough of Audubon for public works services. Discussions are expected to be a half hour in duration. Formal action may be taken on any of the foregoing matters following the executive session. I forget, do I do a motion for these? Yeah. Yeah, can I get a motion for the resolutions that I've just read through?
Russo, second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Ottoson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harron. Thank you.
All right, now I'm going to open up the meeting to public comment on anything at all. If you'd like to comment on anything at all, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please.
I don't know if I even need this. Hi, Council. My name is Andrew Repko. I live on 314 White Horse Pike. I'm here to talk about a couple things. First of all, I think it's probably on the docket at some point, but the Public Works with the leaf collection. I live on a very busy street. I have a lot of trees in my backyard. Very expensive to cut them down. I'm getting there as I go through. I find it difficult to plan when the leaf collections come in to pick up my leaves with when to put it out. I try to be cognizant of the fact that wind's blowing, get it in the street and get it into the sewers and the drains. Luckily, we didn't have a lot of rain this year, so it hasn't been a huge issue. However, I'm frustrated with the fact that I have to call multiple times to get action, to get the people to come out to clean up my leaves on the side of my road. I would like, I mean, it's the third year I've lived in Haddon Heights. I think we could use some type of schedule as we use with the garbage pickup, the brush pickup, the grass pickup, with whoever we contract to pick up the leaves. I think it will be a great benefit for the county, or the town at large. People could put their leaves out on a certain day, so they're not sitting out there for weeks at a time. It'll be much easier for people to understand how to get it out there, and then we have a safer street, safer back streets, main road. I think it just, if we put some planning into it, we could get a lot more accomplished with the leaf pickup, and then having timeframes. The website says October, sometime mid-October. They didn't pick up anything until at least November 4th. That's the first time that someone came to my house. They've come twice in the month of November to pick up leaves. It says every 5 to 10 days. I don't think that's true. So I would just like consistency so we can get the leaves removed and out of the streets and potentially off the roads and make them more dangerous. Still on the topic of roads, I live on the White Horse Pike. I understand it's a state patrolled owned road. However, there are students crossing the street on a regular basis to get to school. Some of them do it illegally from Garden Street across, which my exchange student does not. He crosses at the actual crosswalk on High Street. However, that's not illuminated very well. I know my wife has reached out to the mayor a few times about potentially doing some type of fluorescent type of signage or something to paint the street so it's a little bit more bright, especially now in the winter months with kids walking home after sports or something. It's getting darker earlier and earlier. So if the kids are at school, they're walking home later, there's a chance that they might not be seen. I mean, I drove down Crystal Lake Boulevard today. I know it's not our area, but I didn't see a mother standing on the corner of the road because it was so dark. They had similar dark yellow signs that we have on White Horse Pike, so it was very difficult to see her. Not saying that the signs will make me see her, but it make the driver realize, hey, this is a potential spot to stop and make sure people can safely cross. I know the students are told to go to Station Ave to cross. At night, I tell the student to please go to Station Ave when you're walking home. However, today at 3:45, my wife was driving off a station onto White Horse Pike and saw a student get hit by a car, and the driver just took off. And she stopped to check on him. He said he was fine. Another driver as well stopped to check on him. So it's just, you can't have people patrolling there and crosswalks all day long. I just don't know how we make it safer for the kids walking across the street, let alone adults too. But-
With regard to, I don't know if, was there something else?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I just want to address your second issue first.
Go for it.
And Steve, if I say something out of line, correct me. Yeah, the state's going to be resurfacing the White Horse Pike, I believe, in the upcoming year.
Fantastic.
And from what I understand is the expectation is that they're going to change the crosswalks from High Street over to Garden Street. And there's going to be flashing lights as well as repainting to make it a much more
Yeah.
safe crossing.
Have they considered similar to Station Ave where they have the crossing marks rather than just two parallel lines to the street?
If I may.
Steve, yeah.
Please.
So it's actually part of our engineer's report this month. There was a outreach meeting with Borough and Borough officials for the resurfacing of the White Horse Pike, probably 2026 is when this is going to occur. But we've been on the record for several years during the planning process. Garden Street, know it well, my offices are right there.
I'm right next to
We're
you.
neighbors.
Yep.
But we've been indicating to the state that the High Street crosswalk, we never knew how that came about anyway, but most likely the High Street crosswalk either will be accentuated with piano key high visibility crosswalks, and also the crosswalk hopefully will be introduced at Garden Street, and the Garden Street would also have a rapid flash beacon push button, just like we
Fantastic.
have down on Kings Highway.
That's great.
Actually even augmented from what's on Kings Highway. It actually has the strobes.
Okay.
So that's, we are on the record, the borough's on the record with the DOT, to put it in the minutes that they issued for the meeting, and we'll be following up on the design process.
And you said that's 2026 for that piece, but the High Street painting, that should happen after the resurfacing or?
They will not introduce any changes until they do this entire
Gotcha.
project. And we've been on the record now for 4 straight years about Garden Street and High Street.
Yep. And you know.
As soon as we heard about the initiation of the project, but we'll keep carrying it forward.
Yeah, and you see those kids every day crossing right there, and it's as dangerous as it gets.
Every single day.
So I just want to, go.
And if I can have one more thing. So one of the things that we have also done is done a Safe Routes to School plan. That's a document that's on the borough website, and it documents that it documents that activity. So that should help further support the need for those crosswalks and the need for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 months I walked our student out to the street. He's from Denmark.
Yeah.
He's used to people being nice. and stuff.
No,
Yeah, that's totally
that's
different.
the culture.
Yeah, I had to grab him a couple of times because this person on the left stops, person on the right's a bit late for work. They're flying through. They don't care. And I had to grab his shirt, and it's not that the lights are going to help that, but it's not very safe. And it's just
No, I
one of those things. So I just want to clarify because I thought I heard two different things. So you're saying both the High Street and the eventually will both stay, or the High Street's going to go away?
The request we have to the DOT and their entire diagnostic teams and also the administration is to retain the High Street crosswalk.
Okay.
And add high visibility piano key type crossings and appropriate
Perfect.
pedestrian crossing signage, higher visibility, and include a high visibility crosswalk at Garden where the high school kids are actually crossing with a rapid flash beacon. They've indicated that they acknowledge our request that we want to retain both. They may only, and we'll push back on it, but they might only allow for one, and the one most likely would be
Garden.
at Garden
Yeah.
Street.
That makes sense to me. I wouldn't,
We
as
would
long
like
as
to
it's,
keep both, but most likely, what we're going to see is Garden, the one at High Street will probably be eliminated, and the one at Garden Street will be introduced and enhanced.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and with regard to the leaves, I think our leaf service is provided through a shared services agreement that we have with the Borough of Audubon. You know, the leaves are not like brush collection or garbage collection for that matter. It's hard logistically to schedule them, especially when leaves fall at different paces from on a year-to-year basis. We'll definitely raise that issue with Audubon to make them aware of need to, I don't know how often they get to the White Horse Pike. I know, you know, I think everybody who lives in town has to deal with the, you know, it's never really all that consistent. And I think it's one of those things where it is frustrating. I think we need to have a little bit more understanding with this kind of service as opposed to the other services that you mentioned.
Mhm.
But yeah, we can't have it sitting out there for weeks and then just have the leaves blow all over
So
the place.
Are we contracted as Haddon Heights to Audubon to perform the service for us?
Yes.
And is that like a long-term agreement or a year-by-year agreement?
It's first 5 years have passed, and we're working on
We're-
the next.
We're working
Is
on
there
it.
anything precluding us from going out on our own and getting our own service, or is it subsidized because of I understand that, but is it subsidized because we're splitting it with another borough or another town?
Subsidize isn't the right word, but yeah, by entering into this agreement, it makes it much more economical
Yeah.
for both.
I mean, I
towns.
think it makes sense for both towns to push back. I mean, we're the customers, right? They're providing the service. They should want organization and structure just like we should want it. I mean,
You see the guy
Ev-
sitting in the middle over there? He's the biggest pusher you've ever seen in your life when it comes to negotiations.
yeah, like it doesn't, like I said, I'm
Yeah,
saying a
people
week, but
angry
10
at him
days.
over there.
Yeah, I mean, I just think a little structure will go a long way in helping make sure that this is a safer process. And again, people like me who spend the weekend trying to get leaves out will plan
It can't
around
be that
it.
difficult to say, in this 2-week period, we're gonna be picking leaves up in this neighborhood. In this 2-week period, we're gonna pick leaves up in this neighborhood. It's the way every other town does it, and it's something we should be able to formulate working with Audubon.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
think that'll address your
I
problem.
Yeah,
couldn't agree with you more.
absolutely. Perfect. Awesome.
We will work toward that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Good night.
How you doing, Council? Gabe Genevro, 1628 Maple. Basically, also touching on, I'll go into piggybacking off his first. The leaves on Maple, I've called 3 times this week. I've gotten a number for RJ. I've gotten RJ's name. I've gotten basically everything I need. I've called Audubon more times than I can count. Dave Srirachi's never returned my phone call ever once. And I've never gotten anything answered. So like I understand the shared agreement, but I feel like all my friends live in Audubon. I go over there, I ride bikes through town. Their leaves are clean, they're picked up. They're prioritizing Audubon. I personally feel like from just seeing what I see out there, trash is picked up. We had an issue with trash during COVID. They didn't. I've seen a lot of different things in their town. I know we share with them, and that's always what I got. So seeing that over there, I don't understand. They're saying they're out. When I call here, they're saying they're out 7 or 6 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever. And they've been to our block on this date and this date. I have cameras that face my street. The leaves haven't been touched. Also, it's on dates they said. I look back, I didn't see it. Now, them dates aren't stored right now. I mean, if I can continue to record, if they say that date's happening, if you want me to maybe see if I could provide evidence of nothing happening. But when I called, she said they were going to tell RJ that they were going to, come. And the issue is, piggybacking off what Andrew said, like we said, we all work for a living, right? So we have the weekend to do our leaves. So if we're putting them out there because we don't know when they're going to get picked up, and with the wind, they're blowing everywhere. Containment, why can't we figure out something? Because they're not allowing us to put them in cans, right? My neighbor has 5 cans of leaves out there. They're not going to touch them cans, they say. But they say to put a tarp, right? Now, if they're going to get out and move a tarp, why can't they move the cans that contain the leaves perfectly? My neighbor, not one leaf from my neighbor with the cans has moved, or the brown bags. You know what I mean? The brown bags. I'm a union truck driver, so I drive all over. So I see different aspects of how people do things. Trash company, I was behind a trash truck today collecting brush and leaves, and they had the bags and they were just throwing them in the back of the truck, the bags. That's containing the leaves. So we're not going to complain as much because they're not blowing back and they're not getting wet on the road. Then that's slippery, right? If it rains, people slide out on leaves, all sorts of stuff like that. So if they're putting them on the road, one, a lot of people are parking right on them and it's shooting them back everywhere, or they're not parking. And then that takes away parking from our street for 7 to 10 business days, they're saying now. That's what I got told, or 5 to 10. And I'm not seeing them coming in that time. So, I mean, and I get you guys just touched on it. So I don't want to go too deep, but just to piggyback off kind of, I just see that Audubon seems a lot cleaner. So if there's something that we can get an equal amount of work done for both towns, if we have an agreement with them and we're paying them, I feel like we should get the same service as they're getting over there and the same cleanups. You know what I mean? And I get it's tough because they're telling me they're spread thin, 2 crews. So their crews are going to prioritize there and not here. It feels like maybe I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm speaking out of line. I don't know if that's the case, but it looks like things are getting done over there. So maybe we're falling on the back burner a bit. We're like last in line because we're not, you know what I mean? Because Audubon's doing the work and we're not. So there's that. And then I had one more thing. So I live on 1628 Maple. Obviously, you know, Maple is the first street off of 295. It's a wreck there. I'm talking people going probably, if I had a radar gun, 45, 50 miles an hour, stop sign to stop sign, like it's an echo dragway. Like it literally, you hear the engines rev up, they're flying. People have flipped my wife off before, telling them to slow down. We have 2 young children, and you know that's my main priority. The neighbors across the street are about to have 2 twins, and they have 2 young boys already that both play with my kids, and we go back and forth. I get it. We try and cross them as safe as we can. God forbid a ball rolls out, someone's doing 45, 50 on that street. It's done. There's no stopping that. You know what I mean? And I think I'm part of a member. We just started a group, Strong Towns. Don't know if you guys are familiar. A few people from town and a few people from Audubon, a few people from Collingswood are in it. We met at the VFW last week, just going over a lot of this kind of stuff. They're having similar issues. I spoke to also not having 4-way stops. I come from Pennsylvania. I've never seen the no 4-way stops. I've seen almost 13 accidents and me and myself a day almost at the school right there, Glenview. All the mothers and parents park there. Then they pull out and speed off. Well, people can only see what they can see coming off that stop sign there and multiple other streets. So if you're pulling out and they're pulling out after they pick up their kids and not stopping at that intersection, there's going to be an accident every time. You know what I mean? It's almost happened multiple times. Obviously, they have kids in the car. I could have my kids in the car. And I know my good friend's dad that lives across the street, he's a retired Berlin cop. They had a whole plan put together of putting 4-way stops in, and it passed, and it worked great. Also, potential speed bumps that are removable when snow removal comes, and that also slowed down cars tremendously in these side streets. My biggest thing is it's 295. People cut through there to go down to Devon to cut back into Barrington. And I see the work traffic, 530, it's like a drag strip coming off my street because I feel like maybe it's the mentality that people are doing 75 on the highway, then they get off and they get on our road and they're just that's their like mentality. So we talked about maybe like as you enter, maybe some kind of reflective paint that's cheaper to say, hey, you're entering a town or, you know, you're entering a slow zone. You know, also the parking there of them at the end there of them apartments and all, and guys doing work on their trucks out of that apartment and all sorts of sitting out. When we turn onto that street, I turn on it every day because I come off 295 the other way from work, and people are flying up, and then you're trying to turn on. There's nowhere to go there. You're butting heads basically, and at that rate of speed, it's a collision because you don't have enough time to react if you're coming on the street because you can't see what's coming this way. So like maybe if they paint yellow, you can't park up to a certain point there, like because you guys own that. There's that water thing there. There's not many houses there, something like that, or one side of the street or something to allow enough room for safe entrance there too. That's mostly what I had on that. And I feel like it's been a huge problem. I have called a few times and voiced my concern. And I know it's hard. I know we put a couple of fake units there at the corner and stuff. And I saw, and I think people read into it once they see a couple days that same car's there. Cause it's the same, it's habitual people. It's the same people over and over, I see the same cars flying. And, so my main concern is my kids, obviously, and the kids in the town, all the kids. Even right here in town, I see it. You got state law for the crosswalk, and people zoom around people that are stopped and almost killed multiple people multiple times. It's just, I know it's tough to tackle everything with that, but.
Yeah, I maybe talk to the chief about the speeding issue
Absolutely.
on Maple, because he's always been very responsive and
Absolutely, yeah. Sounds great. Yeah,
and
I just wanted to put them things out there.
no,
I'm pretty sure Andrew covered a lot of the leaf.
yeah, and I
things. was
appreciate
just
you
gonna
bringing it
be
to our attention. That's a different section of town. It's definitely something we'll have to
so
bring to
if you see
Audubon's.
Two different sections.
Yeah,
on the
it's something
same
we got to
issue.
bring to their.
Because I'm on your side. I'm only a couple blocks over.
Okay.
And I know exactly where you're at. And before I even moved here, I know exactly the problems you talked about. I had a friend that's on Chestnut right in the back, and I was the idiot that was going down and never seen the sound before going down Maple before. So that's exactly, and that's the one that flooded.
Yeah,
We're very familiar with that road too.
yeah, exactly. So,
I do get it. So
Yeah,
I like
so-
the ideas actually.
yeah, if anything, and I'm willing to, look into more stuff. And if you guys, I know it's tough, how the council's set up and everything. I've looked into everything. So like, if you need me to ask about the whole addendum that Berlin had, and if he can get it for me and I could drop it off to someone or anything to help you guys do some of that work. Cause I know it's a lot of digging through this and that to try and figure stuff out, but if it can help a little bit, I have a little extra time to keep a couple kids alive. That would be
I think you brought up a lot of important issues for an area that we know has those kind of
Yeah.
issues, and maybe we get Steve working, and I'm sure Councilwoman Russo in the remaining time with us will be is she's a local expert on so to address the issues of concerns with stop signs, between stop signs and curb paintings. There's definitely things that the town can do to look into trying to make it a
And I know
safer
there's, like,
area.
a little bit of cheaper things, not like a huge project, you paint a curb, maybe it can help a little bit here and there, little
You
things.
could
And
definitely talk to the chief about the painting.
okay,
curbs
yeah. And
Stop sign wise, it depends on whether it's a borough street or
Uh,
a county street. It's a
absolutely.
County controlled, but we can talk to
yeah,
the
it's mostly just it's very confusing because I even have people come and visit me from PA and they're like, I'm so confused on the
Are
rhyme
you
or
from
reason.
Northeast Philly?
Huh?
Are you from the
Um,
Northeast?
Yeah, my family is, yeah, like.
I grew up in the
Well,
Northeast, too.
south. They're from
Okay.
south, but
It's
all the
there's
same.
four-way stop signs everywhere. in the
yeah, well, that's,
Northeast,
and in my, everywhere, both of us actually are friends and we grew up in the same areas. So
I know what
we-
you're talking about.
yeah, there's four-way stops everywhere. And honestly, it slows down the pace of traffic a little more. If you see it, at least, not everyone's going to listen to stop signs. We know that. But if we get a few people, it's better than none. If you get a few things can help.
They
You know what I
roll
mean?
through instead of flying
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
I know.
The South
You
Philly
can
roll.
identify those- you can identify those intersections when you speak with the chief. Maybe
Yeah.
they can look at it for possible recommendations.
Yeah,
As to whether four-way would be appropriate.
yeah.
Having to know the solicitor in Berlin when we did those four-way stop signs.
Okay.
Some of them.
So you're familiar
Is this
with,
still recording, Joe? Of course. Some of them might have not been valid, but they went in anyway for purposes of traffic calming.
okay. So you're familiar with what I'm,
very familiar.
oh, okay. All
Not that I
right.
would ever do that.
I didn't hear anything.
You would look at the stop signs for pedestrian safety. In New Jersey, you really can look at stop signs for traffic calming. Pedestrian safety would be the concern that you would look at.
Right.
And then.
And honestly, yeah, that is,
We made notes and we'll bring it up to the engineering committee about other traffic calming measures that are available and we'll bring them up.
one more quick thing. So the project that's going on my street with the repaving and the
Yeah.
stuff, they haven't been out there, and them all them end things, people are throwing the cones all around, and there's left with holes. We don't have great lighting, so I'm scared that someone's gonna fall where they're putting the pads. You know, they haven't been put in, and I don't know if that's like what's going on with it, but that's been like almost a month now, maybe.
All right.
Are you talking about the bricks and the handicap ramps?
Yeah, they're not.
Follow up with that.
They're not in yet, and the cones have been sitting there. And I talked to the foreman. He was great, super nice guy. He helped me out with understanding a lot of things. And I know the engineers or whatever came and painted what needed to be replaced. But towards the end of my street, my neighbors, he said he called, but he also voiced that the tree that's on his property that's popping up the sidewalks, and they've replaced a lot of sidewalk in different areas. This one's the most dangerous. It goes up about like that and has like a hole in it where you basically your foot gets stuck. No light, no nothing. But the tree is apparently from the
Roots.
roots, and he even said he'd be opposed to them doing the sidewalk around into his yard a little bit just to not have that happen. But it's definitely a safety concern.
Has he gone to the Shade Tree Commission?
Yeah, I think that's what, and the tree is the townships, so he
Yeah.
can't do anything, and he's not gonna pay to have his sidewalk replaced. He already said, he looked into it, and he said, why, well, they're telling me the roots, and then I can't cut the roots. So I'm not trying to go into his stuff. I'm just saying, there's not a lot of lights on our streets, and there's a lot of runners and different things, and
I'm one of them.
yeah.
I go down that
exactly.
street all the
And
time.
So like having something like that, I mean, where I was, like a lot of times, like I know it's different for every place, but in PA, my old house that I sold, any sidewalk that was up like that, they would come around and make you replace it on, whatever. But seeing that this is a little bit of a different, aspect, because there's other things involved in it, I understand, but they were out there and they did paint multiple blocks that were less dangerous than this one. This is really probably the most dangerous part of our block. I know Patty next to me, she got that tree cut, and her sidewalk, she paid out of pocket and got it done, and like kind of wrapped around onto her yard, so it wasn't on the roots. He was like, I kind of reached out. He's been talking. I don't know what we can do, but it's pretty bad. And they were already out there replacing said blocks, so I didn't know if.
Yeah, it's not a unique problem. It's happens in a lot of areas throughout
I mean, I know
town.
the next
There's
street over that there's a house that this sidewalk's like.
Yeah, there's no easy answer for
Yeah.
you. It's part of the headache that comes with having a tree heavy town.
No, I totally get it. And especially how old they are and the roots.
Right. It's so, it's, yeah, he's the guy you want to talk
He's the
to
tree
about
guy.
that.
Yeah, I don't mind the trees, but they're causing some of the issues that we have now, the leaves and the.
Yeah, and it's,
Just for information, the only sidewalk that was touched as part of that's a road resurfacing project on Maple. The only sidewalk that would have been included was the sidewalk adjacent to the handicap accessible ramps. Because if we touch the road, we had to make sure the ramps are current compliant, or anything that was done as part of an apron, concrete apron, which was replaced due to drainage, or anything that was damaged during construction. There wasn't like a wholesale replacement of sidewalk as part of that project.
So my neighbor 2 or 3 doors down got sidewalk that wasn't attached to the apron, and them guys were doing it. Then my other neighbor got in front of his steps done, 3 blocks. They had nothing because his apron was brand new, so they didn't touch his apron, but those blocks were painted. And I walked down, and then they were replaced.
I have to find out what that.
Yeah, and that's
maybe
why I
that
don't.
was due to damage, but as.
I know his blocks were sitting in and maybe collecting water. It could be.
I guess.
I'm not sure what the mindset was behind it, but I was thinking if those were all done, maybe they were doing it to make the sidewalk and everything safer. So I didn't know.
Specific issues, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I can only see what I can see, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, why would they replace this block and this block And that's what confused me because I totally understood that anything cracked.
And and I don't want to, but you can reach out to me, Steve Bach, by information.
Was your information on the paperwork that we got? I still have it. Perfect.
You can absolutely give me a call. And
If I have any questions.
Yes.
All right, yeah. I pretty much tackled everything I kind of had, and yeah, I'm definitely, if anybody needs anything from me, I'm help-wise on some of them issues, I'm always around.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and
We
if-
appreciate
if
it.
Thanks for
you're,
your time.
if that organization, would you say Strong Towns? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
If ever want to have any outreach, please feel free to contact.
Awesome, yeah, so I'll talk to
Strong town.
Strong Towns. We kind of just started it. We had our first meeting.
Okay.
And it was just kind of about these same problems, and some of it's about, like environmental stuff. And I was more in the the road safety was my side of it, where I was going in at. And we kind of all met through the Haddon Heights Helping thing, and we kind of started it through that. So it worked out. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I could definitely tell them I came tonight.
Please. Yeah.
And then if we have any findings, because we do have a guy that's going to school at Rutgers. He's a younger guy in the city planning. He's graduating this year. So he's been in a lot of these projects with the painting of stuff and how it helps catch people's attention for small towns and speeds and different stop sign stuff. So he brought some of that to there. So we do have a couple of good guys bringing good information in with that. So if I could tell them that if it has somewhere to go, it's always good.
Sounds like you just became a representative.
Hey, whatever you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very
Whatever
much.
Time I can get.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys.
Yeah, I really
I
appreciate it.
appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Take
Feel
care.
free to talk to the chief on those speeding issues.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the main man.
All right, any other public comment? All right, seeing no movement, can I get a motion to close the public comment section of this meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, with that, we will recess into executive session and second round of executive sessions, and we'll come out after that.